Panhandle Public Health District announcing several new COVID-related deaths and hundreds of new cases during yesterday afternoon's briefing. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, Scottsbluff County getting notoriety from the latest data from the New York Times, marking us as the 12th highest per capita rate of COVID cases in the nation. Scottsbluff County Health Director Paulette Chanel addressing that during yesterday's Unified Command update.
Wanted to also just take a look at something we're not real happy with, but we have made news when the New York Times talks about hotspots, counties with the highest number of recent cases per residents. And Scottsbluff County is on there, unfortunately. We are number 12 in the list. And what it does is it takes a look at how many cases per 100,000. And so we are number 12. We have 306 out of the 100,000. Discouraging to see our name on that list, and I know that we can do things to turn that around, lengthening that double time that we talked about, and get our name off that list. So thank you.
And since Monday's update, the Panhandle seeing 455 new cases, including 271 in Scottsbluff County, 37 in both Cheyenne and Box Butte counties, 31 in Morrill County, 27 in Kimball County, 25 in Dawes County, 11 in Sheridan, 6 in Garden, 4 in Dual County, 2 in Grant County, 1 in Sioux County, and 3 in unknown counties. PPHD also announcing 3 additional deaths since Monday, including a Box Butte County male in his 80s, a Dawes County woman in her 80s, and a Grant County male in his 90s. This brings the total number of deaths in the Panhandle to 24. Through Thursday evening, the Panhandle has seen 4,098 total cases, 2,136 recoveries, 76 active hospitalizations, leaving 1,941 active cases. That includes 1,400 active cases in Scottsbluff County, 113 in Cheyenne County, 106 in Box Butte County, 84 in Dawes and Morrill counties, 52 in Kimball County, 23 in Garden County, 9 in Dual, 3 in Grant, and 2 in Sioux County. Well, today, Regional West Health Services issued a letter to the mayors of Scottsbluff, Terrytown, Gering, and the Scottsbluff County Board. The letter from President John Mencken and Chief Medical Officer Matthew Brunner requests the highest consideration that the communities require and enforce CDC guidelines for everyone, including masking, as the best approach to impede the surge of positive COVID-19 cases in the Panhandle. And Governor Pete Ricketts hosting a coronavirus update yesterday and said that as statewide hospitalizations increase and nears capacity, he will consider imposing new directed health measures like we saw in the spring if we cannot flatten the curve.
Yeah, we're continuing to monitor the hospitalization increases. And as I've said, if we don't bend the curve here, if we don't flatten it, knock it down, we will be taking more restrictive measures. So we are monitoring it. We're going to continue to see, and again, this is why we're asking Nebraskans to use all those tools that we've given them with regard to slowing the spread of the virus that we've talked about, and we're going to continue to monitor. And like I said, we're going to take more restrictive steps if we need to.
Ricketts also announcing he will be doing 3 COVID press conferences per week. Well, coming up after the break, Bill Boyer in with your weekend weather forecast. He'll have that right after this on KNEB.TV News.
At Platte Valley Bank, we offer loans with competitive rates and quick decisions from our experienced lenders. Our team works hard to get to know you and your business. From ag to auto, home loans, and everything in between, we're here to help. Stop by Platte Valley Bank or apply online to find the loan that is right for you today.
Logos in Gering is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gering.
1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, we've got an interesting forecast coming up over the next several days. We'll start tonight with mostly cloudy skies, and we're going to see winds start to pick up, especially as we get towards tomorrow morning. Much more on the winds coming up here in a little bit. We now have high wind warnings in effect. Winds are going to be gusting to 55 to 70 miles an hour in some places. Warmer conditions coming next week before another storm arrives next weekend. 42 was all we got to yesterday for a high after a morning low of 16. Looking at precip, nothing out there. And the rain gauge, about normal for the month, 6.5 inches below normal for the year. Well, let's get right at it. We've got a couple of areas that we want to point out here. We do have currently red flag warnings, these fire weather warnings. You can see them here in the pink shaded area. They also extend over into the southern panhandle. So this entire area is covered in those red flag warnings. Those end, though, as we go at 6 o'clock tonight. So here shortly, as of course we get to dark conditions and the chances of the winds there decreasing a bit. So we shouldn't have as much fire weather concerns. Winds are going to increase, though, tomorrow. We've got a huge amount of winds coming into the region. They are going to be westerly winds blowing across the region fairly strong, and that is why we have high wind warnings that have been posted for a large portion of the region, a much larger portion of the region. Take a look at this as we zoom out a ways. You can see these high wind warnings cover a huge swath of Wyoming down into portions of Colorado and even out into portions of Kansas and southwest Nebraska. Those high wind warnings, going to be hard to escape the winds tomorrow. Well, let's talk about those winds. As we wake up tomorrow morning around 6 o'clock, we're already going to see strong winds out in eastern portions of Wyoming with wind gusts 35 to 45 miles an hour there. We roll through the early morning hours, get towards early afternoon, and we've still got winds gusting 40, 50, 55 miles an hour. We go on into the evening tomorrow night, still winds gusting over 30 to 40 miles an hour across a large portion of the region. Early Sunday morning now, winds are going to come down a little bit, still gusting, and then right back at it again as we go into tomorrow or Sunday afternoon. And as you can see here around the Cheyenne area and Wheatland area, winds there gusting over 50 miles an hour. Let's take a look at a few areas here in the region. As we look at the Scotts Bluff area, we expect winds to peak out sometime between 11 and maybe 1 o'clock tomorrow. Those wind gusts there at 45 miles an hour. As we look at Torrington, very similar, that 11 to noon time frame. But Kimball, we expect even stronger winds and probably lasting a bit longer with wind gusts over 45 miles an hour starting by 9 in the morning and continuing through the early afternoon hours, peaking here in that 50-plus mile an hour range during the day. We'll have some, those are going to be pretty steady gusts. We'll have some occasional gusts that are going to go even higher than that. 40s and 50s out here tonight across the area. Here in the local region, 52 in Torrington, the warmest we can find, and 43 in Valentine, the coolest. Winds are light right now. They have been strong all day out in eastern Wyoming, but they've come down some a little bit, dropping our wind chill. 40s, not much to concern about with wind chills as we had a warm temperatures out there today. So tonight, the first salvo of that frontal system starts to come through, and it's going to help set the stage for a very windy day tomorrow. Wind's going to be very strong by sunrise off to our west and blowing down across the region tomorrow. Temperatures overnight going to be in the 30s. Now tomorrow you can see that frontal system coming through the region. This is going to be very wind blown and windy conditions all day long here across the region with winds out of the west all day. Again, gusting as high as 60 to 70 miles an hour sometimes. And high temperatures tomorrow going to be chillier than where we were today by a long ways, and they're not going to feel nearly this nice with winds higher than those temperature speeds. Nothing to be concerned about in the rain or even the snow department. Any accumulations going to be very, very light. So tonight, overcast skies, winds 10 to 15. Tomorrow, though, we set the stage for gusty, damaging winds at times. Sustained 25 to 40, gusts 55 to 70 miles an hour, not out of the question in portions of the region. We'll be in the mid-40s, warming into the upper 50s on Sunday. Windy conditions still around. Still not going to be calm, but temperatures increase and winds go down. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we're in the 60s. Friday, that's the start of the next system. Some late-day rain and snow showers possible, and temps settling back into the upper 50s.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
At Renewal by Andersen, it's about our people. We're a family-owned local company with the best windows, patio doors, and installation teams anywhere. But before our customers ever get to installation, they speak with our advisors in the office. We're so proud of our people. They're very experienced, organized, and at Renewal by Andersen, we know that our customers' time is so valuable. We assure you signature service from the first phone call to the installation day. Renewal by Andersen, a local family company. It's about our people.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
Welcome back. Minutair Public School Administration has announced they will move forward to full remote learning starting this Monday and continuing into the Thanksgiving holiday break. Superintendent Tim Cody telling KNB News, just like the rest of the Panhandle, the district is seeing an increase in virus cases among students and staff.
You know, it's being brought in from the outside, and a smaller district like ours, you know, if you get too many sick staff out, you know, even though as essential workers, they can work as long as they're capable and just in quarantine. But if they test positive for COVID, then they have to stay home and isolate like everybody else.
Cody says he hopes the general public will do their part and follow all the recommended guidelines for helping reduce the spread of COVID. He says the plan right now is to return to the hybrid model of alternating days on Mondays after the break, but that will depend on how cases trend in the area. Well, Scottsdale police have made an arrest in connection to a rash of motor vehicle thefts and break-ins. 29-year-old Stephen Littlewolf of Scottsbluff was arrested this week on felony charges including burglary, attempted burglary, and theft by receiving stolen property more than $5,000. Court documents say police were able to tie Littlewolf to the theft of a Honda CR-V in Terrytown, as well as an attempted break-in on a garage in Scottsbluff on November 5th and 6th. Bond has been set at $75,000 at 10%. He was scheduled to be back in court yesterday for his preliminary hearing. And Wyoming will use federal coronavirus relief funding to help petroleum companies move ahead with oil and gas drilling projects stalled by the pandemic and plug idle wells. North Dakota is already using coronavirus aid, Relief and Economic Security Act funding for well plugged and cleanup. Together, the two major oil-producing states will spend as much as $81 million in CARES Act funding to help the struggling oil and gas industry. Proponents point out the pandemic has reduced travel, lowering demand for gasoline and jet fuel. The funding has also qualified support from land stewardship advocates who seldom side with petroleum companies. Well, straight ahead, Sean Callahan and Jason Jorgensen in with your Friday Husker Chat. KNEB.TV News will be back right after this.
Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge. What is Hydrozen? It's total body relaxation. It's total body recharge. It's floating weightless on water. Floating your aches, pains, stresses, and worries away. Hydrozen is a revolutionary new therapy using Epsom salt saturated water as a way to relax and rejuvenate your body. And it's now available in Scotts Bluff. It is for most ages and has many benefits to the mind and body. Visit hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT.
We do two pictures just like we've done in the past, one straight down and one from the side, but it's better in the fact that they're going to get called back less, there's greater accuracy, and it's a lot easier to find it in dense breasts. A woman should start getting their mammos at age 40 every year, and 1 in 8 people get breast cancer, so it's the best way to find it is early detection.
Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
Home buying is filled with decisions. Neighborhood, floor plan, fenced yard. Make one choice that's easy. Start with FNBO first. We'll guide you home. Home buying is filled with decisions. Square feet, fixer-upper, room to grow. Make one choice that's easy. Start with FNBO first. We'll guide you home.
Looking to throw. Huskers send a blitz. He's hit. And it's fumbled. The ball's out. This is bounced up in the air and picked off. Intercepted by Miles Farmer's second INT of the game. And the Huskers in the red zone with a chance to grab the lead.
I'm Jason Jorgensen. Glad to have you along for another edition of Husker Chat, brought to you by Newcomb Diesel of Kearney, as we are joined by the publisher of Husker Online, Sean Callahan. Sean, as always, thanks a lot for the time. I wish we had better things to talk about, but unfortunately on Saturday, that was not the Huskers' day against Northwestern.
Yeah, can we just break down the 2-0 Loper record right now instead of the 0-2 Nebraska record? But yeah, it was tough in Northwestern. You know, Jason, I don't think people are necessarily totally surprised Nebraska lost. They were an underdog, but I think it was the manner they lost. People can accept a loss that you play well and fight and compete, but Nebraska lost, should have won, and did not play well and made a lot of mistakes. And that's obviously the frustration point, I think, for a lot of people when they watch this team.
You wrote about it. It's disheartening to see that a lot of the same problems that Nebraska's had in the past continue to rear up. You had a great stat, I thought, on your radio report that we have, that every offensive lineman for the Huskers had at least one penalty on Saturday. That's not good football.
Yeah, all 5 linemen either had a holding or alignment false start. Northwestern was doing a lot of pre-snap moving and yelling out things before the snap, and I think it just disrupted the timing. But I think some of it, too, is the quarterback play. Martinez has been a little slower with just decisions and moving the offense at the efficiency it needs to go at. And that has to improve because I think it trickles down to all levels of the team. It hurts the special teams when you get the penalties and the offense is not running, because then they have less field to punt. And it's harder to give your defense better field position in those situations. And you can just go down and down the line, the ripple effect those mistakes have. And Martinez's decision-making just being a tick slow, I think has been a problem as well.
Coach Scott Frost said all the right things, I thought, during his press conference in terms of the quarterback situation. But how do you see this eventually shaking out between Martinez and McCaffrey?
I think right now I wouldn't be surprised at all if they go to McCaffrey on Saturday. I think it's going to be a situation where they both could play, and they know they need them both. But I think Scott Frost is going to play it fairly close to the vest. He was a former quarterback, as we know. There was a time in 96 and even early 97 where fans wanted Frankie London to be the starter over Scott Frost, if you remember. And he got booed in Memorial Stadium against Central Florida in 97. So he understands what it's like to be Adrian. And I think he's given the kid more rope to try to navigate through it. And we'll see where it goes. But to me, what I see is the decision-making. When McCaffrey got in there, it was 1, 2, 3, throw. I mean, just so quick thinking, a quick blinker that you have to be. And I don't feel like we see that. I feel like with Martinez right now, he just is a tick slow on decisions and kind of what he wants to do. He was 9 of 23, for example, with no pressure on him. So meaning Northwestern was not blitzing and he was able to make those throws. And that should be much higher. But, Northwestern had a good defense, Jason, as well, and you got to give them credit. Scott Frost said this week they'll probably be statistically the best defense in the Big Ten.
Now, there were some bright spots. Folks have been calling for and wanting to see some of the freshman receivers, and Marcus Fleming had himself a nice game.
Yeah, Marcus Fleming, Xavier Betts, both got a lot of reps, but yeah, you go to Fleming, it was kind of like, all right, line up over here and run this route and catch the football. I mean, they just put him out there and let him go. And, he was a kid that went home for a little bit in August, came back to campus. I think he battled some homesickness issues a little bit at times, like those Miami kids did this pandemic offseason. But you see the talent. He was the leading receiver, Jason, on the 8A state championship team in Florida, Miami Northwestern. So he is a very accomplished football player at a high level. And it's a matter of just getting him acclimated to Nebraska, the playbook, and you saw what he could do once he's out there.
How about on the defensive side of things? Luke Reimers looks like an impact player for the Huskers for a while.
Yeah, it's amazing. Luke Reimer almost fell to the FCS ranks. He was going to go to South Dakota State on a full ride, turned that down to walk on at Nebraska, got a scholarship immediately this winter. So he really only had to pay his tuition for about one semester in Lincoln, and then he went officially on in the fall. But you look at what he did, led Nebraska in tackles, had a strip sack. They didn't recover the fumble, but he was an impact guy. He made what's called 6 stop tackles, meaning tackles of high impact that the defense won the down on. And I thought that was really telling, just the impact he made in his first game. You talk about those stop tackles over 2 games. He now leads Nebraska in that category, according to Pro Football Focus. And, he didn't play the first game. So he definitely is a guy that's going to be fun to watch.
Well, how about this one with Penn State? I don't think anyone thought, the Nittany Lions would come in here 0-3. Of course, they had that bad luck in the opening week of the season, losing to Indiana. And you really have to question what their mindset will be coming in, because this was a team that started the year ranked in the top 10, and they don't have a whole lot to play for right now.
Yeah, they lost a lot of guys to the NFL. Journey Brown opted out or is not playing, the running back. Obviously, Micah Parsons, the number 1 defensive prospect in the NFL draft boards, decided not to play. So they've had some key guys opt out this year. And then on top of that, they don't have a lot of experience to handle the adversity. So you lose in a real controversial fashion, because you could argue Michael Penix Jr. did not get in on that 2-point conversion, and they might have won that game, and they're 1-0. And they played Ohio State fairly tough in that game. But then last week, that was just so uncharacteristic for a James Franklin team to not only lose to Maryland, but get blown out. We have not seen a loss like that at Penn State under James Franklin in a long time, maybe his first year. So that did get your attention, and I'll be curious. I mean, this is one of those games, if Nebraska were to have some success early, jump on them a little bit if they could. You wonder if Penn State can withstand that.
All right, well, we'll see what happens on Saturday morning. Sean, as always, thanks a lot for your time.
Thanks, Jason.
And that was Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online, joining us once again with another edition of Husker Chat. We're here every week. It's brought to you by Newcomb Diesel of Kearney. I'm Jason Jorgensen.
Small business, you're the engine that makes our communities thrive. That's why we're with you, providing more for you, so you can focus on what matters most. Small business, you're the engine that makes our communities thrive. That's why we're with you, providing more for you, so you can earn more, save more, and do more.
For the past 44 years, Platte Valley Vacuum and Sewing has been serving the Wyobraska area. That's quite a long time. At Platte Valley Vac and Sew, you'll find quality sewing machines, quilting and embroidery machines, even sergers from name brands such as Pfaff and Baby Lock, both known for their well-made machinery. Keep in mind you'll receive one-on-one lessons with your machine purchase. Platte Valley Vac and Sew also offers a fine selection of 100% cotton quilting fabrics and a great selection of threads and notions to assist you in most any quilting or embroidery project you might have. For all your sewing machine quilting needs, stop by Platte Valley Vac and Sew, downtown Scottsbluff.
When it comes to helping local folks with the loans and financial advice they need, we don't horse around. Our only goal is to help you and your family achieve your financial goals with the right loans and savings products. So if you want to bank with people that care about you and your financial needs, stop by or give us a call. First State Bank, We're big on you. Member FDIC. Online at fsbcentral.com.
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. That's a look at today's community calendar, brought to you by First State Bank, honoring those who give back. Nominate your community champion at fsbcentral.com.
Find out what convenient really means at the Western Travel Terminal. Start with our great selection of food and drinks, from for real milkshakes and fresh brewed coffee to snacks and hot food. Next, check out our beer and spirits with their everyday low prices. Finally, let us work for you with our full-service gas station and automatic truck and car wash. All this can be found at 822 South Beltline in Scottsbluff. Western Travel Terminal, your convenient shopping, restaurant, and full-service gas leader.
At Platte Valley Investment Center, we believe in personalized planning for your financial goals.
As your retirement income partners, our concern for your success, combined with resources from Raymond James, can help you make confident decisions for your financial future.
Our team of financial advisors will help you make your money work just as hard as you did to earn it. After all, our goal is to help you reach your financial goals.
Call me, Jody Rosiska, or Kevin Fig, Financial Advisors, to set up your free, no-obligation pre-retirement review.
And finally tonight, the 8th annual Save a Rack Bra Auction at Bacharach's in Scottsbluff was held back on October 28th with a new twist this year. Just a limited amount of corporate tables to the event, with Crappie's Real Estate and Auctioneers making it possible for online bidding this year. The total tally with the online bidding, live bids, and corporate tables was $38,240, plus an additional $5,495 for the Memorial Gun Raffle, for a total of just under $44,000. Dr. Vince Buerling tells KNEB News they continue to be amazed with the amount of support they get for the Festival of Hope and for the Bacharach's Bra Auction.
Nobody knew what was going to happen with all the issues with COVID and everything, but people came out and supported. There was a lot of support online, raised a lot of money. We're able to, do some things in memory of Tommy Watson. And so just a great night overall. And I just can't be happier than, to have seen what had happened and see how much people support all of our family, friends, and neighbors in the area. We will be able to use that money to help out a lot of people.
Crappie's Real Estate and Auctioneers donated back all of their expenses and credit card charges. And with this year's total, that brings the 8-year total to $338,735. Dr. Bjorling said he was shocked by the total, not knowing what to expect from the auction this year. Thanks to everyone who participated and donated bras and those who bid on items. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.